Okay, you guys, so this is an expansion of the other video. I want to show you, I want you all to understand that, yes, there are two, and the two are one, and the one is God. I know that that's so hard for some to understand, but the thing is, it's beyond our comprehension, because God is beyond our comprehension, because God is... He said our thoughts are not his thoughts, and his thoughts are higher than our thoughts. So therefore, we cannot possibly comprehend how exactly this works. But it's obvious if we really look at it, there's two there. And the two are one. So I'm going to go back and reread some of Exodus 33. And let's take it slowly, okay? It says... Now Moses used to take the tent and pitch it outside the camp, far off from the camp, and he called it the tent of meeting. So it was far off from the camp. Why? Because, he had to be able to speak with God in private. Okay. And everyone who sought the Lord would go out to the tent of meeting, which was outside the camp. So people would go and seek the Lord there. Now, whenever Moses went out to the tent, all the people would rise up, and each would stand at his tent door and watch Moses until Moses had gone into the tent. So Moses has gone into the tent. When Moses entered the tent, the pillar of cloud would descend and stand at the entrance of the tent. And the Lord would speak with Moses. And when all the people saw the pillar of cloud standing at the entrance of the tent, all the people would rise up and worship, each at his tent door. Thus, the Lord used to speak to Moses face to face as a man speaks to his friend. The Lord used to speak to Moses face to face as a man speaks to his friend. Face to face. As a person with a person does. When Moses turned again into the camp, his assistant Joshua, the son of Nun, a young man, would not depart from the tent. Okay, now, keep reading. Moses said to the Lord, "See, you say to me, bring us as people, but you have not let me know whom you will send with me, yet you have said, I know you by name." Reread that. Moses said to the Lord, "See, you say to me, bring up this people, but you have not let me know whom you will send with me. Yet you have said, I know you by name. I know you by name. And you have found favor in my sight." So God knows Moses by name, yet you have said, I know you by name. And you have found favor in my sight. Now therefore, I have found favor in your sight. Please show me now your ways. So then he goes on with that. And the Lord said to Moses, verse 17, "This very thing that you have spoken I will do, for you have found favor in my sight, and I know you by name." So this is God talking to Moses now. Moses said, "Please show me your glory." And he said, "I will make all my goodness pass before you, and will proclaim before you my name, the Lord. And I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and will show mercy on whom I will show mercy." So he's going to go before Moses, and he's going to announce his name in front of him, before Moses, ahead of Moses. But God said, "You cannot see my face, for man shall not see me and live." Verse 11, thus the Lord spoke to Moses face to face as a man speaks with his friend. Verse 11. Verse 20, but he said, you cannot see my face, for man shall not see me and live. And the Lord said, behold, there is a place by me where you shall stand on the rock. And the Lord said, behold, there is a place by me where you shall stand on the rock. And while my glory passes by, you shall stand by me on the rock. And while my glory passes by, I will put you in a cleft of the rock, and will cover you with my hand until I have passed by. Then I will take away my hand, and you shall see my back, but my face shall not be seen. Is it possible that Jesus stood with him by him on the rock as the glory of God passed by? And the hand that covered him maybe was that cloud. The cloud, remember the cloud over there with the people that went to go worship God? The Lord said to Moses, cut for yourself 2 tablets. So he did all that stuff. The Lord descended in the cloud. Remember the cloud? When Moses, over in verse 9, we're in chapter 33 now. When Moses entered the tent, the pillar of cloud would descend and stand at the entrance of the tent, and the Lord would speak with Moses. And the people would worship when they saw. He says, and when the people saw the pillar of cloud standing at the entrance of the tent, all the people would rise up, worship at each tent door. Thus the Lord would speak Moses face to face as a man speaks with his friend. So now he said that he said that he'd be by his side as the glory passed by. He'd cover him with his hand, cover him with the cloud, until he passed by, and he'd look at God's back. It says now in chapter 34 now, the Lord descended in the cloud and stood with him there and proclaimed the name of the Lord. Now you see, it's sort of like how I talked about in another video. When you're in the military, the ones slower in rank or lower and lower and lower, everybody below the highest, when the highest comes in, the first person to see the highest would pronounce the highest by using their name, by, in our case, you say attention or at ease in the military. So the Lord is going to announce God coming in. He's going to say, the Lord descended in the cloud and stood with him there with Moses and proclaimed. So the Lord is in the cloud standing next to Moses, and he proclaims the name of the Lord. So he's announcing the entrance of God. Jesus is announcing the entrance of God. And anyway, also, if he's sitting there on Mount Sinai and it's just him, doesn't Moses already know the name of the Lord? So why is he announcing the name of the Lord when he enters? Can you not see that there's like 2 there? So Moses, he cut his stones on Mount Sinai. He's sitting there waiting. He cut his stones. The Lord commanded him, as the Lord commanded him to do. He took the stones, and the Lord descended in the cloud and stood with him there. And he proclaimed the name of the Lord. Why wouldn't he say, and he said his name. He said his own name. Why would he say his own name as he comes in? Does anybody come in, like, say the President of the United States, for you guys who aren't too familiar with military. Somebody goes ahead of the President, and they announce his entrance. They say, President of the United States, Donald Trump in this case. In the military, you would say at ease, attention when they come in, right? And then you might, if they're coming to speak, you say who's coming to speak. Sergeant Major so-and-so, Commander so-and-so. In this case, Commander-in-Chief Donald Trump. Somebody announces his entrance. The Lord, the Son of God, is announcing God the Father's entrance. The Lord descended in the cloud and stood with Moses there and proclaimed the name of the Lord. He's proclaiming, here's God, saying God's name, the Lord Yahweh. All right, he proclaimed Yahweh. All right, that's what he would have done. For Jehovah's Witnesses, they say Jehovah. It just depends on the pronunciation. I believe both pronunciations might be correct, Yahweh or Jehovah. Maybe depending on where the people might come from, like Lluvia in Spanish and Juvia, both pronounced differently, meaning the same. The Lord passed before him and proclaimed. Now, wasn't he standing on his side and he announced his entrance and proclaimed, the Lord, and proclaimed. Now, listen to this. It's another example of two. And proclaimed, the Lord, the Lord. Why is he saying twice? Why not just say once? So really just for emphasis? Or is it because there's two? And before him and proclaimed, the Lord, a God merciful and gracious. There's two, one God, two united as one. The Lord, a God merciful and gracious, slow to anger, and abound in steadfast love and faithfulness, keeping steadfast love for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgressions and sin, but who will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children and the children's children to the third and fourth generation. And Moses quickly bowed his head toward the earth and worshipped, and he said, if now I have found favor in your sight, O Lord, please let the Lord go. So see, now why isn't he saying, please let you go? And he said, if I found favor in your sight, O Lord, please let the Lord go in the midst of us. He's asking God to let Jesus go in the midst of them. For it is a stiff-necked people, and pardon our iniquity and our sin, and take us for your inheritance. And he said, behold, I am making a covenant before all your people. I will do marvels such as have not been created in all the earth or in any nation, and all people among whom you are shall see the work of the Lord. Why didn't he say shall see my work? Shall see the work of the Lord, for it is an awesome thing that I will do with you. See, there he says I, so why doesn't he say my? Because there's two. So that's what I wanted to show you there. It's actually like two. You have to really look into it to see it. The shining face of Moses. When Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 tablets of the testimony in his hand as he came down from the mountain, Moses did not know that his skin of his face shone because he had been talking with God. Why didn't his face shine before when he talked with Jesus? When he talked with the Lord here. Chapter 33, verse 11. Thus the Lord used to speak to Moses face to face as a man speaks to his friend. Then, over here, you cannot see my face, for man shall not see me and live. And the Lord said, behold, there's a place where you shall stand on the rock, and while my glory passes, Jesus says, while God the Father passes, think about that. While my glory passes, I will put you in a cleft on the rock, and I will cover you with my hand until I have passed by. There's two there. Then I will take away my hand, and you shall see my back, but my face shall not be seen. For some reason that we don't really know exactly, but there's unity there, and God wants us to see that they are united as one. They speak as one. They speak as one, but they are two. The Lord descended in the cloud and stood with him there and proclaimed the name of the Lord. Remember I told you that he announced the Lord, the God the Son announced God the Father's presence. That's how I see that. Because here now it says, when Moses came down from Mount Sinai, his face shone because he had been talking with God. But remember, God the Father said, if you look at me face to face, you will die. He said he used to speak to him face to face. And then, if you look at a reflection, that's still going to burn you, still going to hurt your eyes. But he was in his presence. He saw his back. He asked, can his presence go with him? Can't the Lord go with us? Aaron, okay, so his face was shown because he had been talking with God. Aaron and all the people of Israel saw Moses, and behold, the skin of his face shone. So they were able to look at him, and they saw that his face was shining. And they were afraid to come near him, but Moses called to them, and Aaron and all the leaders of the congregation returned to him, and Moses talked with them. Afterward, all the people of Israel came near, and he commanded them all that the Lord had spoken with him in Mount Sinai. And when Moses had finished speaking with them, he put a veil over his face. When he'd finished speaking with them, he covered his face. Isn't that interesting? It was as if the Lord was speaking through him, and that's why his face was shining at that moment. The Holy Spirit was speaking through him. Whenever Moses went in before the Lord to speak with him, he would remove the veil until he came out. And when he came out and told the people of Israel what he was commanded, the people of Israel would see the face of Moses, that the skin of Moses' face was shining. And Moses would put the veil over his face again until he went in to speak with him. So there's all that right there. I don't remember if I had another little thing about that or not. No, that's all I have for that part. Now I'm going to go back and make one more little video, and then I'll be done for today. So I just wanted to show you, you got to really kind of look at it, how it's speaking, because it's trying to show us, and we have to see. God says that we have to believe by faith. And I really believe that you just have to really look into it and really think and see that there's like double talk there. There's two. And I'm going to show you one more thing in my next video about it, but I'm going to put it in the next one. Thank you. And I hope you got a little some thinking out of that. Anyway, thank you for being with me and muddling through that. And I'll see you on the next one.